Hey guys, what's up? Hussein Tabi here and it's crazytoonstudio.com. And today we are going to continue with the modifier lectures. In today's lecture, we are going to see some modifiers which you will not use in all the situations, but sometimes it's very handy. It's very nice. The modifiers are like lattice, optimized, tessellate. The one which I have already taught, but I'll show you some details like in that modifier, that is turbo smooth. So these modifiers are like turbo smooth you are going to use all the time, but lattice, optimized, tessellate, these are something which you need sometimes, and it's very time saving to use those modifiers. So let's start that. And apart from these, I'll try if we can cover these in time. So I have two more interesting things to share with you. One is the modifier, one is a tool, which is again a very time saving. And these are definitely we are going to use in our architecture projects later in our classes. So let's get started, and let's start with lattice. Okay, now to use lattice, we need the geometry. Lattice can be used with geometries only. Okay? This will not apply on your spline models, splines. This is for the meshes. And why we use is, for example, let's have one plane. All right, I have one plane here. All right, let's have a look on edges. Right, and let's hide the grid, and we have this plane. Let me let me reduce the segment area. The segments are now one by one. That means you have four segments. Okay, now let's see that when I apply lattice modifier on this, what happens. Here is the lattice, and you click, you can see that we have geometry on now the edge of the object. The object is now hidden, it's not visible, but lattice will create another geometry on the segments of the previous geometry. So now on lattice we have two things. One thing is the joint, and another is this, which the lattice and lattice modifier, we call it struts. All right, you can see here joints and struts. So right now we have both. If you click on joints, you have only joints here, and the joints will come on vertices. All right, vertices of the object, and the strut will come on the edges of the object. All right, so let's apply again. For example, if I create now some, let's delete this. Let's reset and create one box here. Let's say I'm going to create a cage, a kind of a cage. Right, you need to check on your wireframe mode here. Right, this should be on, so you can see easily here how many segments you are having. Okay, so let's create 3 by 3 for now. Three, three, and three. Okay, and when you apply lattice, you can see we have struts on the edges and joints on the vertices. If you don't want this struts, click on joints only, and if you want struts, then hide the joint. If you want both, click on both. Right, let's say I want both for now, and here is your strut settings, like the radius, how much the radius you want. Right, I want small, okay, like 5 centimeter. And these are the segments of the struts. The more the segments, the more smoothness you have. Let's decrease a bit more. Sorry, like just 2 centimeters enough for now. And okay, just smooth it up and the caps. And now on joints, we have three options: tetra, octa, and soca. The whatever you like, you can have it here, and you can increase the segments to give it a smoothness. Right. So whatever here you choose doesn't matter if you want sphere because you can increase the radius. Right. I think this is more smooth, and I want a little so that I can just add like this here, so it will be like the joints of these lines, right? These bars, and then done. You can see now that this is a cage kind of geometry. So it's so fast and easy. Otherwise, you have to create one cylinder, then copy that in equal distance, and then put sphere as joints, and it's so time-taking thing. We can use this in creating windows, doors, right? Sometime a lamp, a modern lamp, or it can be anything, but not usual, right? Every day, or in every projects you won't use this, but sometimes it's nice to use this. So this is a lattice modifier. Now let's have a look on optimize and tessellate. These both are important sometimes, and as I told you, that these are not regular modifiers, but then when the situation when you need this is very critical sometimes. Let me tell you one thing that in last two, I think in my last second last project, just from now, that 2 3 days back, when I was doing one project, the client gave me one model from Rhino. Rhino is a software for 3D. Like some people use AutoCAD, and some use Maya, some use um, Rhino, Cinema 4D. There are a lot of softwares for creating 3D. So what they do is like what I do. Like I'm good in Photoshop and After Effects for compositing. People do in Nuke, in Fusion, something like that. But in my architecture visualizations, what I prefer is like um, do the things in Max and then compose in Photoshop and some the clients. So that client actually worked in Rhino, and after uploading the models, she sent me the models and told me to give a good look and lighting and texture and everything. But when I imported, let me show you what I got. And the situation is very bad. To import the OBJ format, if your client has given you the OBJ format, or if you have a model in Maya and you want to import in OBJ format, then export in OBJ from that particular software. Go here and click on import. All right, and click here OBJ so you can see all the OBJ objects in your scene, in your path, given path. And then you go to your location. For in this case, I am having my projects here, and here's my client, wellness pharmacy, I think. Yeah. Okay, and here's the OBJ form. Okay, let's click and open this, and I'll say okay, import as editable, and I'll keep everything as it is an import. So here's the model. Okay, but you see that the situation is so bad. I'm not going to show you everything. It's quite complicated here. Let's select this one only, right, and hide all others. Now this seems very nice. So here it seems very nice here, but when I show you the topology of this model, let's click on F4, you will see the model is imported from the Rhino, so we have all these edges here, which is actually not good when you do texture, because sometimes if I want some texture here in this part, some here, it's so difficult for me to select all the poly or click on all the edges and do, because it will consume my 2 to 3 hours. extra just to clean up the geometry, and you can't tell your client that I'm having this problem and sort it out and send me again, because the time duration for submission is very less sometimes. Like in this project, I had a time of only 6 7 hours to finish from start to end. So I found one way, a good way. There's one very nice modifier in 3ds Max. After all, 3ds Max is famous for its modifiers only, all right? Because it's so handy and so fast to work with this kind of geometries here. So you go here and click on O, so you have optimize. When you click on optimize, you'll see we actually have very less polygon now in the scene, right? Let's click here. Okay, so now in optimize, when you switch off this, you see how much poly count is reduced. We have very less poly now in the scene, but still we have some polygons, which is not actually good. We still have problem here. So to solve this, you click on this auto edge. When you click here, now you see we have perfect geometry, right? And still you are seeing these problems here because we have optimized on top of the poly, right? So in stack we have, sorry, these two stack in the modifier stack. Right click here and convert this to editable poly, and you see this is gone, and now we have a perfect poly model. Okay, see, the model is now great. This is because of some issues, display issues. Otherwise, that is nothing. Actually, the model is good. Okay, so this is how you can use optimize. Now, this one is definitely you are not going to use every model, because this is only very few cases when client will give you the model. Otherwise, in most of the cases, they will give you AutoCAD files and you have to create the models. And when you are creating, you are very much sure that the geometry is clean. Now, the other modifier is tessellate. What tessellate does is you go here, okay, and when you click on tessellate here, okay, this will increase the segments in the scene. Okay, now when you need this, first of all, let me show you something. Here you have these two options for the faces. Okay, this is faces that is triangulated, and this is poly, which will give you good, nice four edges poly, not triangulated. Okay, but we have some issues here is because of this tension value. Make it 0, so you'll not have any issues here. All right, so you can see this is all divided in 4 by 4 edges here. Some are 3 because of the geometry topology. In this kind of case, definitely we are not going to use this, but I'm just showing you this, right, to add the segments here. You can increase this values here, and you can see how nicely it is creating edges here. There are some areas which is not actually good, but don't worry about this, because definitely we are not going to increase segments on this kind of topology. All right, how we use is sometimes just reset this. Let's say you have for example, you're making some geometry and you want to increase the segments very fast. You can just click on tessellate. Okay, make it 0, make this one as quadra. Come here, click on the edge faces, so you can see here, and you can see I can easily increase segments. You can use this or this, it's your choice. Or it depends upon the model, type of model you are creating. So this is right tessellate right? And if you have this kind of and you want to reduce, then you direct apply optimize. Okay, and it's gone. See, it's gone. You don't have to select the edges and then reduce it or kind of. You just apply optimizing. So these two are very interesting and sometimes very time saving modifiers, right? The next is now turbo smooth, right? What is turbo smooth? Turbo smooth is very nice modifier. For example, sometimes we use, for example, I show you one, this thing like bowl, a default, a basic bowl, let's say I'm creating, or let's use spline. Most of the time we use turbo smooth when we create something with splines, right? Like I am creating something right now. Oops, I'm sorry. I need Bezier here. And let's say I have created something like this. Okay. And let's apply. Okay, one more thing I would like to do is here adaptive. So I will have this smoothness. And then you apply lit. We have this model here. We go to minimum. We have this model here. Right. Let's take this a bit here. Let's click on vertex and see that um the last modifier in this tag is length, which is not visible. So you can click on this show end result, right? Which you on this, the last modifier tag will be visible here. So we can easily, modify this. Yeah, something like this. And then I'll convert this to editable poly. And you see in the down here, right? This is hollow. Select and I will apply cap. Okay. And let's select the poly to create more segments there. Keep on adding to match the flow. And now you see we have some. But when you hide these edges and you see now, this is very flat surface. So I will apply shell modifier to give a thickness. So you take shell here. Here is a shell. So we have a little thickness here. Okay, but still this is not smooth. So in this case, you first convert this to editable poly. You have an object now. Let me center the pivot. Okay. Now you apply turbo smooth. What turbo smooth does? It will give smoothness to your object. You can see here. Okay. The more iteration, the more smoothness. And you see this is now so smooth. All right. When you are increasing the iteration in turbo smooth, be careful. This is so sensitive value. Your PC can get hanged because when you're increasing this, you can see the edges. This is, you can see a lot of edges creating. The scene will get more heavy than before. You off this, you have very less signals. When you on this, you have a lot of segments. Less iteration will give you less increment in the segments. More iteration will increase the more segments. Right? So sometimes, not sometimes, but all the times, it completely depend on your scene and on your object how detailed you want. Just remember, the objects which are near to the camera should be more detailed, and which are far from the camera should have less details because they are not visible perfect. Right? So there's no issue in decreasing the edges or low poly models for the object which are very far from. right? Now, how Turbo Smooth works. Okay, let me show you something here. For example, I'm having this plane here. Okay, and let me convert this to editable poly. And let me select this edge here. Shift and drag that to copy that. Oops, I'm sorry. There's something not good here. And I think that is the edges, right? I have a lot of segments here. I don't want this. Let's reduce this, apply optimize, because now this is editable poly. I have to select all the edges and delete. Better you apply optimize. So it is gone. Right click, convert to editable poly. Okay. Now select the edge and copy it. So we have a model like this. So you see, we have this topology, and now I want to apply turbo smooth to this. Now when I apply turbo smooth, you see how this becomes smooth. See what this does. The last two edges, this one and this one, remain same on its position, and the segments, which is the middle of these two, will actually divide in three segments to create a smooth curve. Okay, see this? When I increase the iteration, it will keep on increasing the segments, and you will have this geometry here. See? Okay, but actually, this is this. So that means that if I add, let me select this one and this one. And let's increase the segments. Connect here. Alright, no issues. Okay, I made segments here. And now, when I apply turbo smooth on this, you see that this area is getting smoother, not this one. See this. Why? Because now the turbo smooth is getting limitations with these two edges. Okay, so you will get this time hard curve, a little bit of a tighter results. Let me create two more segments here. For example, connect. So now you see I bound this one with this two. That means the turbo smooth will not smooth the area before this, right? Let's apply turbo smooth, and you see I have more tighter results. Okay, so if I copy this, okay, and if I remove these edges, right, and apply turbo smooth on this, I'm sorry, I think there's something mistake I did. Maybe the vertices are there. Yeah, sorry, I don't want this vertex. I removed the edges, but vertices are still there. remove this. Okay, now let's apply turbo smooth. So you see the difference. Okay, here see the topology, and here see the top. Here we are saying that is smooth the edges from here to here, and here we are saying smooth from here to here. If you create more near segments, then it will be more tighter. Okay, so it depends on how exactly you want the smoothness in the object. We will use turbo smooth in our all the projects, right? Maximum, because all the time we make low poly objects and then we apply turbo smooth to smooth it out. So in that case, your scene will not get heavy and the results will be nicer. Okay, so that's why when I apply turbo smooth here, you can see these edges are becoming one, right? I mean, the smoothness are coming from here to here, right? For example, this and this part smoothing, this and this part smoothing. So this is creating one round. Okay, so this is turbo smooth, right? And if I select this, for example, and let's apply lattice. Okay, for lattice, let me show you one thing. Again, reset this, and let's have a cylinder here. Okay, I have cylinder here. Let's see the edges, and let's have a modifier. There's one more good modifier that is called twist. Okay, this is also very nice modifier. When you click on twist, you can actually twist your objects. See, like this. Okay, so I have a twist here, and let me increase segments so that we can have smooth. Let me have this very less. This one a bit crease one. Okay, all right. And now when I convert this to editable poly, select lattice. You see, I want only straws, and reduce down, and segments increase, and you see we have created some parametric shapes here. This can be a lamp, this can be a building, right? This can be anything here. This can be, if I copy this one, okay, and remove the tessellate. So you see we can actually create classes. This one should be the classes, and these are the booleans, right, of the windows. Can be anything. Okay, and you select this and then apply turbo smooth on this. To give it more smoothness. Okay, and reduce a bit segment like 1 centi or maybe 0.5. Yeah, that's nice. See, okay, so it's so easy sometimes to create things like this. Okay, so these are the modifiers. Now the next thing is what I'm going to show you in today's lecture is one more very nice. We call that path follow. Let me show you how that works and how we can use that in architecture pipeline. For path follow, we need one path. For example, I'm having one path here like this. Sorry, don't want this one. I want the bezier here. Go to the top And let's select this and create anything here for now. Anything, right? I just want to demonstrate first and then we will create something out of it. And let's say I'm having one cylinder or a box here. Okay. And I will apply, let's say, a tapper on it. Like this, I'm having something. I convert this to editable poly. So I'm having this one object here. Okay. You select this and apply modifier called path follow. Okay. Here is a path deform, sorry. Okay. And here you have to pick the path. So this will follow on this path. Now where is the object? It is so far from this. See? It's following but it's so far. So you click on move to path and now it is on the move. On the path. See? So when you increase the percentage, you can see it is actually following the path. This modifier is not called path follow actually. It's path deform. Okay, so like this the path deform works. If I'm having here and if I stretch this, see this will stretch here. But now you see I'm facing some problem here. This is not actually following. Why? Because we have very less modifier on this object. Sorry, very less segments on this object before applying the modifier. Right? So what I'll do is I select this and I will increase the segments, or better, I apply tessellate here. Now you see when I apply tessellate, which is actually increasing the segments here, you see how smooth we are getting. So now if I increase stretch, see this is completely one shape. When you click on F4, you can see the segment. This is because of this tessellate. If you don't have tessellate, this is so like this. So better, let me show you again. The better thing is when you have this kind of object, when you create the object, for example, this time let's take cylinder. When you create the object, make sure you have enough segments before applying path deform. All right. So you select this one and you select this one like that. You go here and now you choose path deform. So now when you choose path deform, you have in a segment here. Click your path and move to path. Right. So now when you stretch, this will be properly go. So you can use this to create lights, wires, um, tables. Like I'll show you in the upcoming lectures. I'll use this. Let's make something today from this. Right. Before that, let me show you these other options like rotation, see, or twist. This can be twist. For now, it's not so visible because we have full circular object, so the twist doesn't matter here. Okay. In the direction, you can see how you can use the directions here to use. For now, I think this Z is nice for us, right? If you flip, this will come this side. Okay. So let's create something for to use this path deform. Okay. And let's see what I can do for you. So let's create a shape from plane. Okay. Let's go to the top. Let me create something. Okay. Hide the grid so you can see this plane very clearly. And let's check on the segments. And here I will increase these values. Okay. All right. Now you go here, right? and I want to apply these options, but this is not active. Why? Because this is not a poly, right? So convert this to a editable poly because you can't use that option without the poly object. Now, when you click here, you have generate topology. You have all these options. This is very nice actually. Sometimes to create tricky objects. Click here and you see the shapes. Okay, it's nice. And let's what we can do is you can try all these things. See, there are a lot of things you can do with this. We'll use in future lectures, inshallah. I think this was looking nice. Yeah. Okay. But this is nice. What I'll do is I'll apply tessellate, lattice on this, and I don't want this joints. I want only the struts, and this will be 0.2, for example. Yeah. So these are like small splines. Increase the sides, so I have this model here. What I'm trying to make is a chair kind of things. Right. Let's go to the front view here now. And let's make one shape here to follow the path. Should be a path, remember. Okay. Something like that I'm having. A chair. Okay. Let's go to the fillet. Let's take this and make fillet. Let's select these both and weld. So I have this shape here. And I want this to follow this. Okay. So I select this, go here, take path deform, pick path, and move to the path. We have some unusual thing here going on. Change the axis. Yeah, the Y is proper. So now when you actually click on percentage, you can see you can move on this path. So difficult sometimes to make this kind of objects, but with path deform, you can create it so nicely. Okay, this is nice. And then I will click here and collapse two, and yes, so you have a chair like this. And let's create some supportive legs here, and for that what we can do is go to the left view or front view. Yeah, let's create something here. So I'll create one okay, keep this frame here. I want this one. Okay, this line is here. I want this line here, and I will give a outline to this. I don't know, I'm just trying this. I think it will work very nice. Okay, right. Select this two and take till here. Get this shape a bit. That's okay because this will be a supportive frame for this, so not an issue. Okay, go to the top. Okay, go to the front again. Let's take one line here. Okay, give outline to this. Okay, like this. And let's attach. Create spline again. Go to the trim this part, and well, these things. Okay. And now what I do is go to the top, put this here, a little outside, no issues, and apply extrude modifier. Not this much, only a bit. Okay. And I'll copy 3 times. And you see, we have something here. And we have created a chair. Something unique, which you'll never find. Right? You can make it a big, select everything, go to FFT, 2 by 2, select this part, drag it here, and you can put it into any garden. Well, it's not visible here because we have no light anything here. This is 2016, so we won't be able to see. But for now, let's just check it out. Okay. So this is path deform. How you can use path deform? There are n number of ways. This is the one way I showed you here. There are n number of ways how you can use path deform and splines and polys and all other things. Right? You use this thing. This is very nice. Sometimes I play with it for creating lamps and all. Just create any any plane. You just create plane, but make sure you have enough segments here. And you just click, and oh, sorry, it should be poly. I always forget this. It should be poly, and you can make a tile with a wall, lamp, use with path deform any of the shape, just apply on it and make good models. All right, so this is enough with the modifier. This was the third and last lecture for modifiers. Okay, and inshallah in the next lecture I'll show you some more tools. Okay, and the next lecture will be the last lecture for the basics. After that, we'll go to the intermediate level. We'll start creating models like I created today a chair, this thing. Likewise, we'll create now models by using all the tools, techniques, modifiers which we have learned in the last 12 lecture, 13 lectures. Okay, so you will know that how polygon, how splines, how those tools works. Okay, in real life. And then finally, after making all the small models like lamps and tables and chairs, we'll make one interior scene, and then we'll put all those models into it, and we'll prepare one frame, and then at last we will create one full interior scene, and then we will start lighting, texturing, rendering, all those stuff. So this is enough for the third and last lecture of the modifier. Right, see you in next class with more interesting tools. And in the next class, the tools are whatever you are going to learn. As I showed you some modifiers sorry, in this lecture, which are not regular use. The same tools we will use, which will be not for the regular use, but sometimes you will find very useful. Right, I'm just telling you in advance that we are going to see in the next lecture these tools, right? This array, right? Snapshot, then there's passing tool. These three we are going to see in the next, okay? And this is going to be interesting lecture again. And after this, we will start creating good, cool, and creative stuff. Inshallah. See you in the next class. Keep practicing. For now, I'm not giving you any assignment to you. Your assignment will be given after the next lecture, because after next lecture we will start creating practically all models with sizes and everything, like what I use in my projects. Okay, so do practice and work hard till 13th lecture, which is going to be the next lecture. You have to practice everything before I go to the 14th lecture. Please keep in mind, because from 14th I will not repeat what we I will repeat, but like I'll make models, and sometimes maybe I will forget to tell you that what I'm using. So you should know where the mouse is going and what I'm using here, right? Because I'm going to use all the things which I have taught you in the last 13 lectures. Same thing I will do, but I'll show you how to use them in practical example. Okay? Bye. See ya. Take care.